And what seasoning should we use for the rich when we decide we're going to eat them?
Something bitter.
I do believe the day of reckoning is coming, and I mean that sincerely. Now, is it going to be an uprising with pitchforks and torches? No, no, it won't be that. But the day of reckoning is coming. How it's going to appear in the 21st century in 2023 or 2024, I don't know. But the day of reckoning is coming because they've been literally pissing on us for so long, and we've had it. And you know who's gonna do it?
Who?
It won't be Generation X, which is what I am, and it won't be the millennials. It's going to be Gen Z because they've been pissed on since birth. Not to mention the fact that their whole lives have been one constant struggle between one tragedy to the next. And that leads me to this little clip this little thing I'm gonna put on the screen here in just a second. And this is a paragraph written by a young girl in high school in the United States of America. And I apologize, I clipped the image and I forgot to pull up the name of the author. So this is unfortunately going to be uncredited in this sense. But this is what this young woman wrote. She's a young girl in high school. And I'm going to put this on the screen and I'll read it to you now. And it's about Shirley Jackson. A dystopian society is shown in Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. I'm going to pause on that for a second. You remember the short story, The Lottery? Many of us read it in school. I'll tell you about it after I read this. This is a society where people go into town to be stoned to death, providing they are chosen in the lottery. It isn't fair, it isn't right, Mrs. Hutchinson screamed, and then they were upon her. The lottery, the people justify this by saying it's tradition, but they never think of what they are truly doing. It is only when they or their family member is chosen that they see how unfair it truly is. This reflects on our society. Everyday students walk into school, sit in their classes, talk to their friends, but in the backs of all of our minds, we never feel truly safe. Since the first grade, the class of 2023 has seen an act of gun violence in schools every year. Yet, we still come to school every day and pretend not to be afraid. We pretend that we don't get scared when someone pops a chip bag in the lunchroom. We pretend not to notice Officer South scanning large crowds of people. We pretend that we're always at ease, but with the constant reminders that we see on the news, we never truly feel safe. It almost feels like the people in power don't want to protect children. They claim to be pro-life, but once that child is in school, they don't care if someone turns a place of learning into a shooting range. We have been raised knowing AR-15s are more important than the next generation of Americans because of a sentence written by men almost 300 years ago. It's tradition, quotation. This is an injustice to the people and the future of America. Now, that young lady could have a very bright future. I say could because the school year's not over yet. And there's been how many shootings thus far? More than there are days in this year.
Way more.
So, she could have a bright future if she lives long enough to have one. And somebody might go, Paul, you're being ridiculous. No, I'm not. This is how the children of the United States of America feel today because of gun violence. So marinate on that for a little bit, please.